Hey everybody, this is Uncanny Derek, and in this video we're going to go over the Collector's Comic Book app, and I have it linked to CovrPrice as well. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of an honest review about how the app works and how it actually has benefited my comic book collecting. I don't have to use these Excel spreadsheets that I have anymore, so stay tuned and we'll talk about it. And of course, if you like what you see, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe down below. Leave some comments. I'm pretty good at responding to all of them as well. So this app that we're talking about, the Collector's app, I've had this app for just over a year now, and I've also been subscribed to CovrPrice as well for quite some time. And there's lots of pros and cons with both products. This is not a paid advertisement. I am doing this on my own volition. So I kind of wanted to go through the app, how it has changed my collecting habits, how it's been a great benefit to me, some of my understood frustrations with the app, but ultimately why I can go to conventions now and not carry my old Uncanny X-Men spreadsheet where I spent a lot of time on this Excel putting all the notes in here. The app has it all. I don't need this anymore. I just need a phone. So without further ado, I'm going to keep doing this video, but I'm going to play around on my phone and we're going to do a little screen grab. We're going to put it up on the video here and we're going to go through the app together. So here we go. Alright, so I got the app here running on my phone. I'll put it up on the screen here. Minimize me. You don't need to see me playing on the phone, but here we go. When you log into the CLZ or Collectors app, you can see I have a few different books all over the place already registered. So I've gone through and I've added a ton of different books here to the app in order to fill up my collection. And we're going to go through some of these books. We're going to go through the settings on the app. We're going to go through CovrPrice. We're going to see how the whole thing comes together. So first we're going to talk about just the books themselves, how they go through the app. So I have added a ton of different books. To do so, you just press the plus button there, can enter a series title, and can just go ahead and plug in whatever you need there. So like Uncanny X-Men if I wanted to do that. There's Uncanny X-Men Volume 1. It loads the entire collection of everything there. You'll see there's tons of different versions of each book, and I can click all those, go further into the book itself, add it to a wish list or my collection. You see there's tons of different options there. And yeah, it's simple as just clicking add to collection. I'm going to add a book later, but just kind of want to get the idea of the feel of the app itself. So in terms of what I have this set up as is I have my main comic books all registered in this first page here, and I've gone ahead and made tabs for everything. So my Uncanny X-Men separated here, followed by my omnibuses and trade paperbacks and books and graphic novels as well. So it's actually pretty neat that you can break things up into different categories in order to be able to collect and find things a lot quicker across all these books. So to get started, let's look at the settings here. All these settings, yeah, you can see I have the collector's account. I'm subscribed as well, so there is a monthly fee for having this, and I've been finding it invaluable for somebody who goes around and collects comics quite a bit. Having this readily available is key, and we'll get into that a little bit later too. So as I go through, you can sync with the cloud. I also have my CovrPrice here linked, you can see. So what you'll see here is that I have my last sync with the Collector's Cloud was on the 17th. Today is February 18th, so I haven't done a recent update for today. I could have it so that it syncs all the time, but I like manually pushing it. And then also there's a value update as well. It doesn't say the last time I've done it, but you'll see CovrPrice there. I have that it's linked, and I can update values, and I'm going to be going through that today. And then obviously I have different folders. I can see my missing comics, statistics of the book, and this can get pretty interesting, and it is based on folder. So I have my all comics, my Uncanny X-Men. I'll just quickly click on the all comics, and then I'll jump to my stats. And here's books that are in that stats. Yeah, some of them are signs. That's how many I have in all of this. I can tap the show all and see everything I have there. And then most recent additions to the books, and I'm going to be adding a few books that will knock this up. Total value is based off of CovrPrice, and I'm going to get into this and what it all means. My paid is wrong because I haven't inputted all the values either. So ignoring all these prices and my most valuable comments, I'm going to get into this as well, because all of this looks real impressive, but when we dig into it, it's not as impressive as it seems. So just hang in there. Again, value by series. My Haunt of Fear is definitely not my most expensive collection here. My Journey into Mystery is a maybe. Raw versus Slabbed. Again, these values, all of them, I take them with a grain of salt. There's a caveat to all of it, and again, I'm going to get into that shortly. Purchase by series, by grades, my general idea about grading, lease here, all that fun stuff. Anyway, to continue, what we're going to talk about next is adding a book, and we're going to go through the value of adding a book, grading it, connecting to CovrPrice, and then go into the pros and cons of the app. So here we go. To go into adding books, I just recently picked up a copy of Transformers #5. This is the Skybound book, and I got a variant cover here as well, the Devastator cover, and I'm going to add this to collectors. So to do so, what I'm going to do is a few different ways I can go about adding this book. I'm going to scroll down the Transformers just to show you what's going on right now. No, that's the first volume. There's Transformers and the Image one. So I have those 4 issues, and I have issue 5 that just came out this past Wednesday. So I'm going to add my 5, probably variant B, to this app. And to add books is pretty straightforward. What I'm going to do is back out. There's the plus button. And I'm going to do, I can do this a few different ways. I'm going to type in Transformers. And it usually knows the most popular one. It jumps that to the top. I could also scan the barcode, which I have on the back of this book, but I'm not going to do that right now. And I'm going to pick the first one because I know that's what it is. And you'll see there's tons of different books here to choose from. And you'll see that the ones I do have, they're highlighted there in the blue. So that Torrin Clark variant for issue number 3, that's listed there. I'll scroll down to the near the bottom. So this Devastator cover here is 5B. And you'll see that they already have issues 6 and 7. The covers that have been released are already out there in the app. So I'm going to say, hey, I own this book. Because I do. So I can just click Add to Collection, which I will. And it brings me right to a pre-fill screen, which I usually have filled out when I am doing big lots of books. For the most part, this is just quick stuff you can add in. And you can edit this to add pre-fill things to edit. So for grade-wise, I did look at this book. I did read it once. Honestly, I hate saying everything's a 9.8, so I usually like saying 9.6. It is pretty much mint. There's a little bit of a slight ripple to it. You know what? Because of that, let's say 9.2. I have one of them. It's raw. The price purchased. We're in Canada here, so we'll say $6. Ugh. And there's no grading to it, but they do have some default grading books in there. And that's it. I'm going to add the collection. And just like that, it's in. If I back out to that and look, there's the book. And so one thing I'm going to mention right off the bat is I just recently updated the app so that it's reflecting American pricing. So that $4 that you're seeing right now is the American. So yeah, I paid $6, but you know, Canada dollar isn't doing too great. So that right there has been updated. And it's in my all comics section, so we're all good with that. This little cloud button here showed up at the bottom right, so we can now sync that to the cloud. Again, this can be done automatically, but I like to push it. So click that, there's been one change, I will sync the change, and there we go, it's now sunk. So that's been updated. I do also, my comic book store coincidentally also had the copy of Alex Ross's Fantastic Four Full Circle. And so books like this can also be in the app. Pretty much anything comic book related is in this app. It's pretty awesome. So if I tab over to my books and graphic novels, you'll see I have that Marvel Comics The Untold Story in there. That's technically a book. That's not it's not a graphic novel or anything. I got some Stan Lee stuff in there. Yeah, just some books in there. I want to add Fantastic Four Full Circle to this folder. So I'm going to hit the plus button there. Again, I can scan the barcode and, you know, let's try that. Let's see if that registers. Is it better? So issue barcode. Let's start with there. Boop. There it is, Full Circle. It is the hardcover version, so it does recognize the book. And I'm going to add it to my collection. Let's see, the price purchase for that was about $30 Canadian or $31.99, whatever. I'm rounding. And yeah, I guess it's near mint. I don't know. That's fine. It's just a book. So add to collection. And now there's my keyboard. Yeah, let's get rid of that. And there, that's now been registered to the books. So now I've been able to register a book into that, and I will now just sync that to the cloud right now too. Perfect. So what we're going to go through now is updating the prices to the books, and this is where it's synced up with CovrPrice, and this is, again, a pretty neat feature to have with it. So I'm going to go to the actions at the top. I'm going to update values here, and there's it goes updating my values. You'll see that I have books here getting updated across the board. So my Transformers went up there in value, X-Force, all that fun stuff. And there's some things that have dropped in value by a couple dollars, which I find very interesting. So I'm going to just hit back here, and then I can sync those changes too. What I'm going to do is also show you another folder that we can do this with as well. I'm surprised I didn't see any in here, but I have a wish list. This wish list here is all the books I want, and I have a video coming out, if it's not already out, about some of my favorite Golden Age books, and they're in here as well. Values usually get updated in this too. I'll be interested to see if, yeah, nothing needs to be updated there. How about that? So usually the values update in both of these. I find it interesting that that didn't happen for this video. Oh well. So I've updated some prices here for books. So I wanted to specifically go over my Journey into Mystery 62, the book that is over there. You probably can't see on the small screen here, but I had it in my video, my top 10 comic books. There's my Journey into Mystery, number 62. That's the Zenu the Titan. And I do have it slabbed, obviously. I do have it as a signature series, obviously. And when I go in there, you can edit these things. And you'll see specifically I've put grader's notes in that it is a CGC, it's a 3.0. I can be more specific and even have the number in there, slab certificate number. I can click on that and it links right to CGC, which is awesome. And it pulls up the certificate. So I've always thought that was pretty neat. And there's all the issues with the book, by the way. You can look that up in your own time. So with here, you're going to notice that the pricing is $504 and it's kind of grayed out. It's not a bold color. And you'll see if I go to another book, I know my X factor probably doesn't change that much at all. So yeah, a couple dollars here and there. So you see that there's some numbers that are grayed out and some that are solid and blue. The grayed out numbers are for things that have been priced with cover price 3 months or earlier. So if I were to click on that Journey into Mystery again, I'll just swing back up here, click on that, and click View on Cover Price. It will open up Cover Price for me in the app directly to that book, which is an awesome thing to see the value of the book. And I'll scroll down here, and I'll see value. Last recorded sales $160, but it was a 1.5 to a 2.5. Most common sold are those, and most common slabbed. No variant covers, current trend of the book, highest known value from CGC at the moment. Here's all the prices for raw, and then tabbed for slab. And here's all the prices for slabbed. And so, again, in my app, it says it's listed at 504. And if I go back to the website for a 3.0, if I go back to the website, a 3.0 is listed at 504. So you'll see the last time that price was done, or it was sold like that, was back in 2022. So you saw earlier that my book collection price, it was huge, but realistically it's taking the sum of even books like this and adding it to it. So arguably this price could have gone down or it could have gone up, and my pricing is completely out to lunch with how it goes. Another specific comic I wanted to go through to you and I mentioned was my Haunt of Fear. So again, in my stats, that Haunt of Fear is my highest priced book in this group here. You'll see most of these are grayed out, the good ones. So if I go to my Haunt of Fear, which is H, there we go, and both these are grayed out. But I have them, both covered detached, both of them grade at 0.5. They're pretty badly beaten up books, but it's pricing it by default as a very good grade. And the reason being for that is it doesn't have, you'll see, CovrPrice does not have pricing for a 0.5. So if I look at the, I scroll down to raw, like there's the 512. I don't know why it doesn't default to the lowest grade if it's a 0.5, but it's saying that that book is $512. I definitely didn't pay that price. I definitely paid double digits for that book, and it's still putting in the value at something that it's definitely not, even though it's a somewhat recent sale too. Slab wise as well, $300. So even that's still a little out the lunch. So 3 to 4.5, that's 512 raw, but a slab version of it is in the 300s, and they're priced recently too. So it's an interesting setup how the app works in regards to pricing like that. So I do take the value somewhat with a grain of salt, especially when it comes to these books that are sold 3 months or later. So another thing that we're going to kind of go over with the app is looking at quick pricing. So this is where that having that spreadsheet, obviously it's all on my phone. It's way better that it's all on my phone like this, but I can also actively look for prices with that being linked to CovrPrice. So I click on the action tabs at the top, and I can do a check value right here. And what I'll do is I'll type in any random book. We'll just say Hulk, I don't know, Hulk #1. And yeah, sure, whatever, the Ed McGuinness cover. There's a recent price slabbed at a 2.0 sold as a cover price. And so I can be at a convention, see a book at a certain price, and based on maybe the grade, and get a price right away to know whether or not I'm paying a relatively normal price for that book. Again, you'll notice that some of the when I did have some of that open, let's say a 0.3, that 61 there likely is 0.5 or higher, but it's also the last sale was 90 days ago, so I couldn't effectively say that's the right price. And for some reason, a 0.3 slabbed gives me a 9.8204. It's a weird part to the app, and it's a weird part with CovrPrice. It's really one of my biggest gripes with the site, but as I said in tons of other videos, if you do your research, if you're able to, don't trust this as gold, but it's an excellent tool for any other comic book collecting that you need to do. It's still quick. It's very responsive to being able to find things and help make sure that you're not paying outrageous prices with anything. What I'm also going to do is do a quick search, because one other thing that kind of bothers me is the case sensitiveness to things. Not so much by capitalizing, but say if again, I don't know if this Golden Age video came out yet, but if I wanted to look up teenage romance, for example, that's the Matt Baker series, I can type in teen age, like how it is in how it should be with the St. John series, but I'm only seeing the Marvel version of teenage romance, or the Atlas Comics version. But if I do teenage romance, then there's the St. John version there. And I know that, as you can clearly see in the video here, or any of these, it is teen-age romance, and any other Google searches, that's how it's going to be done. While I'm in here as well, you'll also notice that the app isn't complete. Obviously, there's hundreds of thousands of comic books that exist, and they don't have photos of every single one in there. Not all the information is put in. You'll see that there's some heavy Mac Baker books, the one that's on my wish list, there's no image associated to it. I can add an image to the app and upload it to the cloud for that to be updated in my app here, and CovrPrice is really good with updating themselves, so that's something I could put the work in and do. I'm not prepared to do that, however. You can also add books to this site that do not exist. Obviously, there's a whole underground scene of comic books that exist too. And recently on my Instagram, I posted about Manborg, which is a friend of mine who made a copy of Manborg, the cult classic horror film made into a comic book series. And so I added this into the Collector's app, and you'll see that that's just my basic update into the app here, and everything's all hunky-dory with that. One other thing I wanted to mention that was a positive with it is that when I first purchased this app, and it is a monthly subscription, they reached out to me. Their customer service for collectors is top notch. I cannot get over how many emails I was responded to right away when I first picked up the app to try and figure things out. They care very much about this app. They care very much about their people who buy the app. I have been completely floored by how great of a company that Collectors has been. CovrPrice as well. I have had to reach out to them with a billing issue when I first purchased that to sync it with the Collectors app, and they've been very responsive too. So customer service across the board, everybody has been excellent. So overall, I am pretty satisfied with the app. Like, again, there's a few little hiccups that do exist in there regarding the pricing, but if you play it smart, you're not going to be screwed by anything. You know that prices can vary. You know that things can go up and down. You know that clearly we're just getting out of a bubble right now of the comic book pricing. So a lot of those prices are still going to be trickling down. I don't take my value of my books at face value through the app, even though it wants to say one thing. I know that it's worth something else. And that's really the other thing about comic book collecting. I'm in it for the collection of it, not so much by the value. So there are a lot of things in the app that you can decide whether or not you want to dig further into. Personally, I'm happy with just the very basic level I think it is that I'm using. Maybe I'm a little bit more advanced than others, but I feel that I've done a decent enough job to add all my books in and whatnot. So that's pretty much my summary of the app. I really do like it. I mean, if I had to summarize the collectors and CovrPrice and put like a grade value on 1 to 10 on it, I'm going to give it like an 8.59. Like, I'm pretty satisfied with how everything works. I don't have to carry a spreadsheet anymore. I can be smart about the pricing. I can trust it relatively well. And if I do have any questions, I still have the internet at my hands, and I can do a little bit quick further research if I'm at a convention. So I'm not committed to everything that's in there. I can still log in the Go Collect or something if I need something else. So it's just another great tool for comic book collectors to have. I do recommend it. You can at least give it a shot. Download it in the Apple or Google Play Store. And yeah, that's my quick long take on the Collectors app. And if you had any questions about anything that I've covered right now, had any questions about the Collectors app that I could try to answer, don't forget to leave them down in the comments below. Add some questions. I do a decent enough job, I feel, to respond to everybody. And again, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.